What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. We got Ultimate Legend information when it comes to what players are going to get cards. EA Sports tweeted out this morning. I believe this also is in the menus of Madden 22, Saturday, February the 19th, and they showed 10 numbers. So of course 10 Ultimate Legends. It's also a giveaway. If you predict all 10 correctly, you will get all the cards. We're going to be going through each number, kind of talking about who can get that card and if there's any investment opportunities. Luckily for us, our investments, we're going to start Ultimate Legend investing more on Thursday and Friday morning when the odds boost came in, so we kind of lucked out on that end. But either way, this is great kind of information because it kind of just clears everything up when it comes down to Ultimate Legend investing. Starting with number 29, of course, Eric Dickerson. This is probably the fan favorite that everyone wants to get this card, but I will say with EA Sports and for some other players down the line in this video, I think if Eric Dickerson, or if EA Sports had Eric Dickerson's rights, they would have used his likeness for multiple cards throughout the year to try to make the most money back from their rights investment. I don't think they just drop one Eric Dickerson card throughout the entire year. I think he gets multiple cards throughout the year. Earl Thomas, and you might be thinking, Earl Thomas is actually in. EA Sports has his rights. He's on the all-time Texas team in the Campus KO mode. So Earl Thomas there. Number 29, of course, Legion of Boom, Seahawks, Ravens. Probably my bet for number 29. He's probably my official number 29 prediction. DRC, this is one I think would be the best card that we got. Of course, I believe he's 6'1", 6'2". He's on a multitude of theme teams. His prime was probably either on the Cardinals or the Giants. We're going to say Cardinals, number 29. And then lastly, kind of a long shot, but I'm putting it in here because he already has a card. And, I think we're going to be let down a little bit on a lot of these players because they're already going to have cards in the game. Like, yeah, it'd be a bunch of new names and new cards, but LeGarrette Blount, number 29. I wouldn't really consider him an Ultimate Legend, but I wouldn't put it past EA to make him an Ultimate Legend. Investment opportunity-wise, if he's a 94 overall, really a long shot. If you get him for under 100K, really like more, I'd say around the 95, 90K mark, you can scoop one up, and I'm not going to go and attack and try to pick up a LeGarrette Blount. Number 52, there's really only two names, in my opinion, that could get these cards. Two probably of the most scariest NFL players of all time. The first one, of course, being Ray Lewis. He does have a 93 most feared in the game, so they do have his rights. The other number 52, also playing middle linebacker, one of my favorite players of all time. He retired a little bit too early, in my opinion, but of course, that's his decision. Patrick Willis, only Niners theme team, as Ray Lewis is only Ravens theme team. I think Patrick Willis has been in Madden multiple times throughout the past couple years, but he has not seen a card in this year's game. Investment opportunity wise, Ray Lewis, he is a most feared 93, and I will say, even though he's 120K, and I do think we're going to get Ray Lewis, I think it's pretty likely that he does get this card. First off, the Ray Lewis and middle linebackers aren't necessarily that good of cards because they don't jump, and then two, he's a set card. So for Ray Lewis, I think you have to be really greedy when it comes to his price. I would say anything under 100K. I know that's cheaper than what he is right now, but I would say only buy him if he's under 100K. Number 8, a lot of fun options with this number. You got Steve Young, of course, has not been in Madden, I want to say, since Madden 20. I know he was in Madden 20 with the Super Bowl past program, but Steve Young, number 8, is kind of the biggest name. I say I'm always going to put the biggest name for the first picture on the screen. Also, number 8, another quarterback, Troy Aikman of the Dallas Cowboys. Probably wouldn't be the best card. Steve Young would be a really glitchy card. Only downside is some people don't like to use the lefties at quarterback, but Troy Aikman for number 8. And then the last option, and I think the most likely option to get this card, is Larry Wilson, number 8, one of the best free safeties of all time. Of course, on the Cardinals, his card would be relatively decent, 6 foot, 89 speed. He wasn't, of course, the Team Diamonds one drop. Most of the Team Diamond 1 cards weren't the best of the they weren't the best of the best. They were only 90 overalls, and we'd already had 91 and 92s. But if Larry Wilson were to get this, I do think these Ultimate Legends are going to be 97 overalls, maybe 1 or 2 or 98 overalls for like some big name players. But Larry Wilson as an investment, I think anything really under 55K is pretty solid for him. Moving on to number 75, we got Mean Joe Green. We have not seen him in Madden 22. He was in Madden 21. He was on the first Ultimate Legend batch for Madden 21. Number 75, arguably the greatest defensive tackle of all time. Some other options include, and these are a little bit, I'd say 75 has the most big name new players, but varying options. You have Deacon Jones, number 75, of course, part of the fearsome foursome of the LA Rams. LA Rams are going to have a couple players in this kind of video that can be major upgrades for their team, although right down here, they already have Aaron Donald, but another 75 that's already in the game. Lomas Brown, left tackle for the Detroit Lions. I can't say if he's going to be a Hall of Famer or how good he was. He has to be relatively good for Madden though to be putting him in the game. But Lomas Brown, number 75, and then what I hope we get, Jonathan Ogden, of course, a UCLA Bruin. EA always makes him a right tackle in game, but he is a left tackle. Let's see what he predominantly played throughout his NFL career. Of course, Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer, I am pretty sure. But Jonathan Ogden, that's who I hope gets the card. Who I think gets the card, probably going to end up being Lomas Brown. But investment-wise for Lomas Brown, left tackle, Lions theme is relatively pretty good. I rock Lions 25 out of 25 right now. So for Lomas Brown as an investment, Team Diamonds, of course, if they do hit, doesn't matter how bad the card is, they will go up a little bit at least. Lomas Brown, I think anything under 70k, under 65k is pretty solid. I want to go out and buy more than like one or two. Moving on to number 81, Dick Night Train Lane. He's always top 3 corner in the game whenever his card comes out. He has the height, he has the speed. Lions, and I think Rams theme team, so Rams getting another player. Lions, I hope he gets a card because I'm rocking that Lions theme team, of course. But Dick Lane will be probably the biggest name for number 81, but there's a couple other ones. We got T.O., but again, like when I talked about Eric Dickerson, I just have a hard time seeing a only drop like one Dick Lane, one Terrell Owens when it comes down to the number 81. I think they would have gotten cards earlier in the year to kind of, get some more pack sales and just one pack drop. Number 81, Calvin Johnson. Could get a card. He does have a 95 bone nose, so I do think if these are 97 Ultimate Legends, it kind of just puts Calvin Johnson out of the equation. But if they're 98 overall, maybe he's the 98 overall Ultimate Legend, possibly. And then Randy Moss, I know he wore number 84 on the Vikings in his prime, but you can also say Patriots was in his prime too. Number 81, that's a little more of a long shot, but 4 really huge names when it comes down to this number. It could be anyone. It's probably not even going to be someone on this list because these are like, I don't know, unrealistic, I'd say, expectations. My prediction, though, for 81 is actually going to be Dick Lane. I think T.O., I think they would have used multiple times throughout the year. Dick Lane, I feel like they could just do one time. He's not like the big name that T.O. is. Investment-wise for Calvin Johnson, it's kind of the thing where if Calvin Johnson does get a card, this Bo Nose card will be probably upwards of 300, maybe 400,000 coins. You might want to sprinkle in, get one, try to get one under 150k. You have the flexibility coin-wise to kind of pick up one of Calvin Johnson, even one of Randy Moss. It's just like if they get their card, their prices will go crazy on the market. But I'm not going to be going out. I think I already have Calvin Johnson on my team, so I might buy one for 150, but I'm not going to go out of my way to pick up multiple. Number 85, I only have 2 options down. We have Chad Ochocinco. Of course, he's like the Madden rating adjuster, so you'd think they'd have his rights for his card. But again, Chad Ochocinco, like, I feel like they would put him in the game multiple times throughout the year to get the pack sales. My prediction is going to be Antonio Gates, number 85. Of course, he has a team of the week already in the game. And when I went through a lot of these numbers, I only have, I believe, 2 tight ends on the entire list. So Antonio Gates makes complete sense to me. Not really, I would say, a 99 overall Ultimate Legend, but 97, 98 definitely realistic for kind of his career. Antonio Gates, I say, is an investment. He is still relatively cheap. I would say anything under 55,000 to be safe is a very good investment. If you want to be a little, I don't know, aggressive, I'd say anything under 60,000 coins. Card-wise, he'll be a decent tight end in the game. 6'4", not always the fastest tight end, but hopefully his run block gets a little bit upgraded from his team of the week. Number 70, I looked through, and you guys can help me, of course, on any of these players, any of these numbers. You guys can put some suggestions in the comments. Leonard Davis is pretty much the only kind of known, like, big name number 70 player, and he already has a legend card in the game, not upgraded from his 90 overall, so I'm pretty certain this is just going to be Leonard Davis. Is probably the most obvious Ultimate Legend prediction there is. Investment-wise, for his 90 overall, currently going for 46k, I'm going to say anything under 35. Anything really under 40k is good for Leonard Davis. Again, we have multiple days, so they announce these cards probably Friday afternoon. The market has already taken a pretty big drop today when it comes to investments, at least in Gridiron Guardians, so I'm expecting, be patient with these guys. You'll probably be able to pick up a Leonard Davis for under 35, under 40k later on this week. Number 89, Steve Smith Sr., one of my favorite players of all time. I love how he played the game. Shorter receiver, so he wouldn't be the greatest card in Madden 22 Ultimate Team, especially on next gen, hype being so important. But I think it'd be a really cool new name, new player in Madden 22 Ultimate Team, Steve Smith. Moving on to some other options. Number 89, this is the other tight end up opposite of Antonio Gates, Mike Ditka. He was on the NFL 100. He's only been in Madden, I believe, 1 or 2 years as a legend. But number 89, I believe he is a Hall of Famer. I know he's a Hall of Famer, I think, as a coach, but I think he's a Hall of Famer technically as a player too. Mike Ditka, number 89, and this is my actual, like, official prediction. Dave Robinson, he has that bow nose and 94 overall card. Hall of Famer Dave Robinson from, I believe, USC, so yuck. But Steve Smith, Mike Ditka, Dave Robinson, I think Dave Robinson just makes sense for EA Sports. You can see his 94 overall is 125, and investment-wise, it's a little tricky. I would say anything under 110. Why I'm being so greedy when it comes to Dave Robinson. There's a lot of competition at left outside linebacker. We have Micah Parsons. We're getting TJ Watt. We already have like Vaughn. There are a lot of left outside linebackers. Dave Robinson, I think, wouldn't be the best of those cards. Of course, I think that's end up being TJ Watt or Micah Parsons. But Dave Robinson, anything under 115K, I relatively like. Number 11, this is kind of the quarterback, I'd say, number Dante Culpepper. Culpepper, we have not seen him in Madden, I believe, for a few years. Give me some more information on that in the comments. We also have Phil Simms. Of course, he has a team diamond in the game, but Phil Simms, I will say, I feel like he would have gotten a Super Bowl legend since he won MVP. I don't really consider Phil Simms more as an ultimate legend. And then lastly, fan favorite, this is what I'm hoping for. It's going to be Julio Jones. I mean, Julio Jones probably going to get an upgrade relatively soon. I just don't know if it's going to be Ultimate Legend. Is it going to be Gridiron Guardian 2? Could it even be something like a Combine? Julio Jones, a lot of options for him to get upgrades. Investment-wise, starting with Julio Jones, his Redux up to about 95K since like it's Ultimate Legend hype, the number thing. I would say Julio Jones, since you do, and I love Julio Jones' investment because he can get Gridiron Guardian 2, he can get Ultimate Legend. I think anything under 80K for Julio is pretty solid, and then his Corley, anything under 9,000 coins really is a solid investment. You kind of have some flexibility. If he doesn't get a Gridiron Guardian 2, he can get Ultimate Legend. Another thing, when he doesn't get a Gridiron Guardian 2 card, or if he doesn't, I'm assuming the Redux in the quarterly market will kind of crash a little bit for Julio Jones. You might be able to pick up some on some discounts going into Ultimate Legend weekend. And then Phil Simms, you can see his price really hasn't moved, and he's probably the odds-on favorite to get the number 11 Ultimate Legend card. I would say anything under 50K for Phil Simms, but I will say, if Phil Simms were to get an Ultimate Legend, I don't even think he'd be a top 5 quarterback in the game. He wouldn't be super fast, not crazy throw power. I don't know his release, but I just don't think he'd be that good of a card in game. His price will still probably go up like 50 to 75K, but don't expect too much with Phil Simms. Number 40, the last number on this video, Gale Sayers was in Madden. He was in Madden 12, and I believe he was in Madden 20 for the NFL 100, but I don't think he's been in the game other than those 2 years. Always a really fun card to use. Super fast, super elusive, great return man, great receiving back out of the backfield. Gale Sayers. We have Mike Haynes. He did play half his career in New England. Number 40, he was number 22 on the Raiders, but that was the second half of his career. I do think there's a good chance we get Mike Haynes. He was in the prime technically on the Patriots, but he made more all-pro teams on the Raiders. We have Mike Alslott, fullback. We got to get some boring positions. I'm surprised there weren't really any obvious like kicker and punter numbers in this drop, but Mike Alslott, probably my pick to get the number 40. We got to have some boring positions in this drop. Mike Alslott, one of the best fullbacks of all time. And then we got Pat Tillman, of course, Mutt Master in Madden 20. I think it was Madden 20, might have been Madden 19, but I think it was Madden 20. Pat Tillman, always a fan favorite. His Mutt Master card was insane. The hair on the back of the helmet, pretty iconic. But those are your number 40s. Probably the biggest variety when it comes to a number. Investment-wise, Mike Haynes, I think anything under 40K, you're going to see me actually buy this 40K Mike Haynes. At worst, I'll probably be able to sell him and hedge him at 50K leading up to Ultimate Legend, because I do think there's a decent chance he's the only of those number 40s that already has a card in the game. We know EA probably just going to be more recycling cards than we think, but Mike Haynes, anything under 40K. But that is going to be all for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I went through this video, was fun to make, kind of just researching numbers, players, and thinking. Kind of, it's always fun to guess who gets cards, but again, it's all in fun. None of this is official. I really don't know anything. Put down in the comments if you have any suggestions. I've missed some, I'd say, obvious players when it comes to this whole number Ultimate Legend guessing game. But that's all for this video. I will be streaming later tonight. We're going to be working the market, doing some Gridiron Guardian 2 investments, opening some packs, trying to pull Jamar and Micah and Justin Tucker. But that's all for this video. Comment if you have any questions, like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and until next time, peace.